Very first episode.
I was told.
Yeah, you got to set the tone.
All right. Okay.
You got to set the tone.
I was told.
Is that? I think Takeover will like that. What up, everybody? It's your boy Theo Pinson here. And listen, this is a new pod going out. Like EYBL Socials called Free Game, because we about to put y'all on game today. Listen, we got a very special guest here today. Very special guest here today. They say they the standard, and I just told them they the standard, but I know who really the standard, CP3.
Oh.
But I'm just playing. But we got a very special guest here today, man. And they really are. They set the tone every single year. They've never missed Peach Jam. They compete for the championship every single year. And they thrive to be excellent at everything they do. And I can't give nothing but respect to these guys. So people, welcome Jamill Jones. I said that correct, right?
You did.
Okay,
You did,
make sure I ain't tripping out here. But listen, head coach of the Team Takeover. And first things first, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
The very first podcast for EYBL. And pretty much what we want to do here, people, is let y'all in on what this is and what this means to everybody who is involved in it. It is something that Jamill will tell you soon of how important it is to everybody, just giving these kids a head start of what they're about to indulge on in the next level in college and in the NBA. And it starts now.
Mm-hmm.
It starts now. And y'all do a great job of that. And I would want you to just start off by telling how'd you get into coaching Team Takeover, and how'd you get into loving the game of basketball, first and foremost?
Oh, well, first I want to thank you guys for having me. Thank you,
For
Theo.
sure.
Thank you, EYBL and Nike.
Mhm.
This is definitely an honor. And that's the one thing I think here at Takeover, like we pride ourselves on never taking nothing for granted,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we first formed the program back in 08, 09, and to now, like that's kind of been our lineage of why we've been successful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I've been here since the very start, you know. So I was a huge part of seeing that groundbreaking, right? When we were figuring it out, when we were still playing in pennies and not having like product, and our kids still were committed to being here.
Yeah.
Our families were committed to being here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think sometimes doesn't get talked about enough. Like we've been blessed to have great families.
For sure.
Like yeah, everyone understands the kids, and we've had some, you know, very talented guys come through the program: Victor Oladipo, Jerry and Grant, Josh Hart, just to name a few. Jalen Smith. Like, you know, we've had guys come through the program, but without their parents and the support systems that allow for us to coach them, it would have never worked.
Talk about how important that aspect is, because we're not just trying to talk to kids, we're trying to talk to parents too. Like having that is a peace of mind for the coaches and a peace of mind for the players. And these college coaches are paying attention to the parents too, which they need to understand. So talk about how important that is, having a good family environment and them understanding the process of getting to that next level.
Oh, it's undoubtedly incredible. One of the examples I'll give, you know, one of your rivals, a kid by the name of Trevor Kills, who played at Duke, big down to All-American. Well, everyone knows Trevor, but no one talks about Roland and Kiasha, his mother and father. Right? Kiasha, to this day, is still our administrator. She helps with all our travel, right? She books all our hotels. She does everything behind the scenes to make this program move, while her son is still competing to play in the NBA.
That's tough. That's tough. I like that. What is something that you look for? Because as people don't kind of understand with Team Takeover, they're different than every other team. You don't have the best players. You don't have, and not, okay, let me, quote unquote.
Yes, if you go off rankings.
If you go off rankings, best players. But if you watch them play, and we're going to show you footage of how they play basketball the right way. And you never will go to a Team Takeover game and say, that dude over there is selfish. You can never say that about a team that y'all have. And I love that. When did that start? Did that start from the very beginning? And how do y'all look for those type of players?
I mean, I think that goes back to our founder, Keith Stevens.
Shout out to Keith.
Big time.
Shout out to Keith.
Shout out to Coach Keith.
Big time. Hot head. Hot head. We gonna play the clip.
Keith came in with an unwavering passion.
Yes.
Right? Like his connection to the game, his appreciation for defending and playing the game a certain way. I think that laid the foundation for all of us that are now a part of the program as we transition it forward.
For sure. I mean, if anyone knows Keith, they know how much he cares about this game and the kids. What is something you look for in a kid to be like, okay, he's a takeover caliber type of guy?
Honestly, I think we go to similar to like that high major college recruiting model. Like we identify clearly the talent, but we go a little deeper. Like we try to figure out what parents are going to allow for us to coach their kid, right? Like, because again, it has to work.
Yeah,
you know, some of our kids, we actually have done a great job at our grassroots level. You know, shout out to BJ, our 4th grade head coach. They just won AAU Nationals
that's big
yesterday.
Time. Yeah.
Right. And that's something that a lot of programs probably haven't tapped into yet. But we start at the grassroots, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, right? Introducing them to the culture of takeover, the defensive principles, 5-out motion, passing and cutting, sharing the basketball, to your point.
Yeah, for sure. That's important. I mean, just the fact of teaching kids nowadays the right way to play basketball is getting forgotten. And you got to continue to knock that across their head of just like, you will get farther in the game of basketball. You just learn how to play. And when you can just, sometimes it comes to the point where I see you coach, and I remember I saw you in Indiana and you don't say anything. And they just know where to go and how the offense just flows. And that's rare in high school basketball, and that's something that y'all do well. What has Nike meant for Team Takeover and just to you guys of understanding like you're playing against the best competition there is? Like what has Nike done for the game of high school, grassroots basketball?
Wow, that's an incredible question, and I think sometimes people undervalue the connection that Nike has made in this space.
For sure,
we understand the product, we understand the shoes, you know, clearly the social media content, but to build this platform, right, from nothing to what it is now, to sit that we can identify that 80 to 90% of the current NBA at least played one session of the EYBL, right? Like if you want to be seen and you think you're the best, this is the platform. And that is no knock to any other platform, but we're just better.
Yeah.
And Nike has created that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the biggest thing that I can't think of another way to just jumpstart you getting to that next level than Nike EYBL. Truly. I mean, you're playing against the best competition every single day, every single night. And then you talk about Nike EYBL Peace Jam. Are you serious? Like there's no better tune-up. There's no better tune-up for you to play. Granted, for me personally, when I played here in Peace Jam, it made high school basketball a breeze. That was nothing. High school basketball is nothing at that point because you're playing against the next 5 you go against on the other side, they just as good as y'all are. You see what I'm saying? So one more thing I want to talk about is Peace Jam. Talk about the atmosphere. What Peace Jam is this for you?
This will be me as the current head coach. My 3rd as the head coach. And going on my 3rd year as the head coach, we've been in back-to-back championships. We lost one 2 years ago to MoCan by 1. We actually had the privilege of winning it last year. So like that's a great testimony to those kids. But going back to just the Peace Jam environment, in 13 years, we've been in 5 championships. We've competed in 40% of all the EYBL championships.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something that as a program, our kids identify. Right. Like when you get here, it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
You have to lock in. I mean, you're talking about 1 game elimination if you make it out of pool.
And you got to be locked in because you maybe can lose 1 game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And that's in pool play.
And that's in pool play. If you lose 1 game in pool play, it can still get shaky for you. I mean, it's a cutthroat and it's a really competitive league and it's a competitive tournament, which, like I said, if you want to be seen, if you want the eyes on you and you want these lights on, it's the place to be.
It is.
It's the place to be.
I second that.
And I just want to say I appreciate you coming on for our first podcast. This is free game. I got to get the name right. This is my first time doing it too, but it was a very good one. But listen, we got more content coming out to y'all. Y'all subscribe on YouTube, and it's been awesome. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Theo.
Yep. Good.